Welcome everyone on today's Metal3 Community meeting. My name is Adam Rosman. I will be your host today. Today is the 24th of July, 2024. And let me check if there are any new participants. No, there's only 4 of us. So please note that the meeting is recorded. If you would like to have the project, then filter with the GitHub search tool for the help wanted or good first issue labels on project level, and you can find a lot of those, and picking up and solving those would be a big help for the project. If you feel that your organization would benefit by adding itself as an adapter, or you would just like to advertise that you are using Metal3, then please create a pull request and modify the adopters.md file in the root of the community repository. If you suspect that you have automated testing related problems, CI related problems, then create an issue in the relevant repository and assign the issue to the Metal3 CI tracker project, and that will be visible for the CI maintainers, and they can more efficiently track your problem. If you are interested about the progress of the incubation, then check the new incubation application issue. It's linked to the old one also, so you can find it from there. And we also had the required presentation last week. So at some point I will link the video of the presentation when it becomes available. If you are interested about any other statistics or artifacts or the team meetup documents, you can find the links here, as well as the roadmap and the OpenSSF scorecard. And with that, we can continue to the working group updates. And there is a comment from Dimitri that you don't have any updates. I don't have either. I think the review of the fake IPA in the utility image repo, the Metal3 is going on. And I've seen that already you and we has reviewed it. From my side, it was fine. I approved it. I see that there is still a bit of discussion whether it's a right place or not for the code, but from my perspective at the moment it's fine to put it there, but yeah, just feel free to continue the conversation. Is there any comment related to this or to the scalability in general? Okay, if not, then I don't think there are any release team or roadmap editors, events or issue. The CAPI 1.8 beta will land soon, and then the release team will create a beta release branch, at least of the CAPM3, if I remember correctly, and they will start testing the 1.8 CAPI. At least that's what I remember. And yeah, I think we can go to the discussion topics, and I see that there is one discussion topic, or actually 2. And the first one is yours, Dimitri.
Thank you. Yeah, first I'm trying to do a shameless speech for Ricardo's specification / design proposal on UEFI HTTP boot. But that's not the only thing I wanted to talk about, because you are raising a good point that yeah, it's great as long as it's not a replacement for iPXE, which it's not per se. But, so there is a bit of a but which I would like to voice here. I'm hearing from many parties that iPXE is a problematic project to maintain and support. First, there are pretty slim chances of getting secure boot reasonably working with that, especially on machines that only have Microsoft's key. And that is upsetting a lot of people already. Second, I've talked to some people who maintain a PXE binary in RHEL, and while no decision have been made yet, they are not keen on maintaining it. So I'm not making any promises or not setting any expectations just yet, but it's not unthinkable that the PXE binary can disappear in a future version of CentOS Stream, which put the onus on us for maintaining it. I think we built it from source in upstream version, so we may be fine, except that we never check if it has any CVEs or whatever. I don't think we've ever updated this the Git hash that we used. So there is a bit of like a technical debt in terms of what is even going into our images in terms of IPXE binary, because that thing comes in two flavors. So yeah, there is, yeah, it's been a while. This IPXE which we fortunately don't use, which re-implements device drivers. So it literally has drivers for network interfaces inside of it, written by the IPXE community. We use another thing called SNP only EFI, and it's bias analog UNDI only CAPIXI, which uses device drivers that are provided by the platform. But again, IPXE re-implements the whole network stack from that level up. I kind of suspect they even implement TCP/IP, but they definitely implement HTTP, HTTPS, everything. The whole network stack is completely TLS, for those who use it, completely self-written. They're not using UEFI features for that. So that's a bit a problematic project to use and especially maintain. I know why people don't want to maintain it anymore. So that's not a call for actions. I'm just making the community aware of potential problems in the longer run with this project. And for me, UEFI HTTP boot is actually not a replacement, but a backup plan in case I, for example, cannot use IPXE anymore in my product. So that's a bit of a background here. And a heads up, again, while making long-term plans, should probably keep that in mind.
Thanks. That's good info to know from our side. I know that we need the iPixie functionality, although in the MetaCube right now, yeah, we build it from source even when we build the ironic image. But I agree with you. That's a very good point that we are not doing any sort of supply chain verification on that. Or I mean, if it's more than just what dependencies are pulled down into the image and used for building, but most of them I think are deleted. Not sure. We have to check, but it's a good point. We can make an issue out of that. Check what's or try to come up with a supply chain verification process for the iPixie that's getting built into the ironic image. And then of course we have the second way of doing it with this custom iPixie builder. But there the same thing is relevant. We are also not checking what gets built into the iPixie firmware. I'm not even sure what is the good way to do this, because I don't think we keep the build dependencies around after we finish building. So that's interesting problem.
I think we're using a different builder container, so that's probably not a huge issue.
Yeah. But anyways, yep. Go on.
Sorry, there's also one more thing that last time we did the update for iPixie, it was done because there was actually a stable branch. The problem is that is the last stable branch ever created for the iPXE code, and it's 3 years old. So I guess even if we want to maintain and like update that, I mean, I don't know exactly what kind of issues we could find, honestly.
Yeah, I'm wondering because when I was making these separate custom iPXE builder, I noticed that looked to me it had one actual maintainer. It was a tiny company, like 2 or 3 people company who originally made this iPXE, and as I understood, one person was merging thing there, or like that was technically one maintainer as far as I understood. So do you have any channels to that person, or where does the how to say the info of the iPXE lifecycle, the project lifecycle comes? It would be nice to know because I at this point I'm not sure how to plan with this iPXE. If you have these concerns, because these are valid concern, but yeah, it's just one person. So I don't know. Should we get in touch with that person and ask about the plans for the project, or what? Because you mentioned you have of course there is a binary for the CentOS that Red Hat maintains, but in the MetaCube we only use the upstream one. And
True, yeah.
yeah. And it's quite active. So back then I checked that the development is active, and yeah, the stable stuff is weird. Like there was that one release or that single stable version for years ago. So I'm not sure. But anyways, the UEFI HTTP, I think it's good idea. We should have it. It's one additional way to do the booting. I have nothing against that. It's completely fine. But I know for a fact that from our side we need to support the iPXE.
Can you disclose at least in vague terms why? Is it like a legacy boot requirement or some customization?
No, not necessarily legacy, but we have, apart from the MetaCube, I don't know how to call that. It's hardware management system, I will call it like that. And MetaCube talks to that system via usually regular Redfish, but then that system internally does use iPXE, at least I was told. So there could be situations, and there are a lot, where MetaCube and Ironic and all of our open source stack is not directly talking to BMCs. So, and whatever that thing does, I don't even know exactly what it does internally, but it uses iPXE.
Okay, interesting. Thank you.
And I mean, uses iPXE means that it expects us to be able to provide the iPXE functionality. Yeah, but yeah, HTTP boot fine by me.
Sorry, I was thinking, like you said, that it doesn't talk to the BMC. So I'm just wondering how that is set up. But I mean, just thinking out loud.
No, it's there is something. As I said, I never seen the code. I never looked into it. or can't actually. It simulates the BMC at a large scale, many BMCs, and then from ironic perspective, it's just like, yeah, there is a redfish BMC. I will talk to it, but it's not a real BMC. Of what is the implementation? I don't think it's sushi tools or anything like this. That's some custom thing.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I would also like this iPixie to go away, because even if the security hardened version, or well, that's not even like even that's a bit of a joke. It's not security hardened. Just if you turn on the HTTPS and TLS stuff, even then you never know what's on that machine, what firmware is on the machine originally. Even if you chain load your own iPixie firmware, who knows what was the original firmware, and then that original firmware, especially if it's not iPixie but some sort of proprietary Pixie stuff, then, and that doesn't support HTTPS, or it's iPixie but it's not enabled, and the first download that it will do during the chain loading will be still HTTP. So it's still not 100% protected from man in the middle, technically. Even if you,
Right.
even if you chain load your more secure version. So yeah, I don't like it either. But I guess then it's fine if we approve and merge the proposal, and the feature will be merged also, and that will solve your concern, right? So we are not talking about eventually removing the iPuxi, right? Or maybe eventually, but not in the near future.
Yeah, there's absolutely no such plans, neither in Ironic nor anywhere else.
Yeah.
I'm just mostly explaining why this patch, why this feature may be more valuable than it initially seems. Explain our background on adding it, and it's not the only background, we have to be clear, but it's significant. And generalizing the topic that iPixie is a bit of like a hidden danger in our project, because the second we, for example, want to update its version, since it's a complete networking stack, can hit any sort of issues, as Ricardo mentioned. Anyway, yeah, everything has been said. So no, we are not removing iPixie. It's not a proposal to remove it.
Yeah, great. I think it's clear, and I will, from my side, I will review it when I have time. I'm now focusing on something else, but yeah. Thanks. Is there anyone who has any other comments? But I guess no, because there are not many people in the meeting. Okay, the next one is just from me. It's just that we did the tag runtime presentation last week. I linked last week, I think, yeah, the meeting link, so you can check what was said. We went back, and like the meeting notes were a bit weird. Probably I wasn't that audible, or I don't know. But anyways, we also updated those just to make sure that we are on the same page with the tag runtime. And everyone who reads it later, Mohammed did a demo also during the meeting. The demo was about yeah, actually that was the demo that we showed also, and you can find that here. Yeah, we showed the same demo, and yeah, I guess in general nothing special. At the end, we spent quite some time with the questions, and well, from my point of view, I try to present the project in a way that that's aligned with at least our belief that this is so far the most featureful bare metal lifecycle management tool in the CNCF, and it deserves to get into incubation, and we think we fulfill the requirements. Yeah, so just feel free to check out the notes or later the video if they upload it at some point. Yeah, that's all. Is there any question related to that? No.
Not for me. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, we can go to do triaging. I don't expect many new issues. Newest. Okay, first one, not bare metal node deprovisioning confirm. Next. If an operator accidentally reduces the replicas of a machine deployment, many nodes will be deprovisioned at once. What? Yes. Good to have a branch that checks whether to remove the deprovisioning image field. I don't understand this.
Yeah, I'm puzzled here too. It sounds like the, I don't know,
Deprovisioning.
kind of finalizer space. If the machine is deleted due to user's mistake, well, there's a lot of places where the same applies. Like if you delete like a Kubernetes node by mistake, you're gonna be in pretty big trouble, right? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that was my first thought also, that if you have admin rights and you go around deleting things, there are very few systems where you can. Yeah, I mean,
just put finalizer on your machine set or whatever you're trying to prevent deletion. Or machines, like just put finalizers on everything, and just a finalizer that is called check what the hell you are doing, please, equals true. And I don't know. So Kubernetes has a way to prevent the deletion of an object, right?
yes. That finalizer, I would say, or in case of nodes, you can make the deletion of or the provisioning, like at least in theory, get stuck or not go through if you have this pod disruption budget set and whatever. You're just not letting the node drain. Even that should stop it, but that's a bit crude.
The problem I see here, okay, what they describe, if machine is deleted, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we introduce it a flag. Now machine is deleted, but the host is still provisioned. Like, what is the state and how to get out of the state? Especially if a user doesn't have access to bare metal host resources. Like, how to unwedge this bare metal host after that? It's gonna stay provisioned forever? It's such a puzzling feature. I don't like it, to be honest.
I'm not even clear about the goals here, because so the original statement says that there is a machine deployment and the operator accidentally reduces the replica set, and then the deletion starts. Yes, that's probably equivalent to just deleting a machine accidentally, or a number of machines. But my problem is that I don't understand what's the end state here. What's the goal? Like, because if it's just we would put something on it to not allow this, then that's finalizer thing, I guess, that you mentioned. But then there is this sentence, which just doesn't match in my head with anything. Good to have the branch that checks whether to remove the deprovisioning image field by checking the value of the
I think they're trying to say that if you set cap M3 auto remove true, then the bare metal host will have uh, this metadata label remove true automatically, and if this is present, then it should be deleted. I think that's what they're trying to say.
Okay. I will just ask them that. Let's hear it from the original author, because I don't want to speculate on what this means, even though you have good ideas. Okay, let's continue. Static IP set init container first when there are two interfaces with the same MAC.
You can ignore the container name, it's an operationism. But it's referring to our generic code to configure networking. So that problem probably exists upstream, even if the container is wrong.
Oh. Okay, but where does this happen? Or I'm a bit confused. So yeah, you have this custom container static IP set, but when is this setting up the static IP and where?
It's our poor man's alternative to keep alive D. But don't focus on it too much. If you check the link, they're actually referring to ironic common in ironic image. So that's upstream thing. And yes, I don't think the code actually handles situation where two interfaces have the same MAC address. If that's the same thing, I guess with bridges it could be.
I don't think so. Maybe I should Google, but it doesn't sound right.
Well, in this example, they have a physical interface in EO3 and obviously a bridge. And bridge some, I don't know, that's confusing. But nobody has ever complained. And why do they have the same MAC?
I had one issue with the IPA once, where I don't know how we managed to get the hardware in that state, or whoever managed to get that hardware in that state, but there was a situation where there were seemingly two MAC addresses, but on one interface, but it wasn't like regular MAC address, but it was still listed as like two different address, or was it for multiple interfaces? But anyways, whatever was checking the MAC addresses in the IPA was only handling one at a time, matching against one, but probably not relevant here. I also don't really remember it now that I think about that. Yeah, I don't know. Let's put it needs more info on this, and probably we'll handle it if this is an OpenShift use case, right? Or
I'm gonna ask a few things. Feel free to leave it to me.
okay. Yeah, that we agreed already unanimously about the CentOS 10 support. Before testing, yes, that I already mentioned. We will start testing the copy date. What PC has this information to BMH status? Not hardware data, rather to the CRD, right? Yes, okay. We are on the same opinion. Exactly. Yeah, okay. And there is this broken link checker. Just yeah, this has nothing to do with us. Okay.
That was, yeah, sorry. No, just saying that was updated a week
Yeah.
ago and didn't get any answer yet.
Yeah. I see. Yeah. I think these are all already inactive. There is one invalid. There is one. Yeah. So I think we don't have any other of these. I want to go back to this. The MAC address. Because I just want to get some sense of this. Can you tell me? So, are these the interfaces of the ironic node, the actual target machine?
There's a bit of like a silly logic in OpenShift where we sometimes detect which provisioning interface to use, not by knowing the physical interface name, because that's a bit problematic. It can differ on different machines, for instance. But we know because of the way we bootstrap things, by the time cluster gets up, we know the MAC addresses of control plane bare metal hosts. So our operators that installs Ironic and company just collect these MAC addresses and passes them to Ironic image containers, or all containers derived from Ironic image, including this downstream one. So essentially, it's telling pick your provisioning interface is the interface with one of these MACs. It's a bit like hacky, but it works for quite some time. Although there's some problems with that, but anyway. So that's where it's coming from. It's MAC addresses of control plane bare metal hosts.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think my issue was different when what I faced. Mine was like, yeah, it was a regular server, but for some reason the interface showed up in a way that, there is same stuff when you do with Wi-Fi, that it has a regular, sometimes like depending on your configuration, it can have a regular like physical MAC address, and then it can generate this virtual MAC address. And that looked very similar, and then the IPA wasn't able to match both because it's always just matching one or matching against one. And then it couldn't do the registration, but that's very different.
Oh, this is fun. Yeah, I can imagine this happening. You can turn that on any interface. You can enable this feature, I believe. Or at least on some physical interfaces, you can enable that.
Okay, but that's then different what you have here. Okay, yeah, then that was the triaging stuff. Let's check quickly the stale. But yeah, these needed information, and there was no discussion. I checked this one the morning, and I left. Yeah, I checked some of these. I left the life cycle stale on them. This is something that need the feature. Haven't I? Why? It should have removed. Oh, I put a dot after it. Okay. Yes, this is fine. And then okay, I just ping a deal. And I guess this is, should I put this to frozen?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Good. Okay. Okay, so we are done with all the usual stuff. Is there any comment, suggestion, question, anything? Okay, if nothing, then thank you for your time and the discussions and the reviews that we did now. And have a nice rest of the week, and let's meet next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.